So today I've been thinking, just now, I've been thinking about the difference between the Father and God the Father, because I feel like it's kind of an important thing. Because I don't know, I just feel like something's around the corner, something that's going to be really, really big. And I feel like I'm seeing Martin as the father, but that's too small. That I'm thinking too smallly. Like, yes, okay, Martin was the guy who Eve Eve's son and partner a long, long time ago, but I need to drop him completely, I think, because I don't know what he's done or if he's done anything against me or if he knows or anything. But I feel like his life will be in danger if I kind of talk about him or see him. And I feel like he has been in the back of my mind like all the time. Like I'm trying to forget it, and I really am trying so hard. And I almost did when I found this the sort of the William fixation that I had, which lasted a few weeks. But I found myself not sticking with that just because I think it's because there's a certain worry of what's going to happen in the future, and if there is going to if things in the Bible are going to start coming true, like the war or Revelation or whatever, you know, a William character probably wouldn't be enough to survive. Almost like there's people I like people I'm more related to, people that I'm more similar to, but at the same time, I don't know. I just riots are bad. Like when you see hundreds and hundreds of riots or just lots of people just attacking each other, it's like it's this really mass control of male energy. But it's completely out control, and it could cause like 10 guys to just violently beat up one person, which is horrible. But I think that's the difference between sort of the father and God the Father. The Father is like the Satan character, is has power but does sort of lie. And I know there is a lot of leaders who gain control through lies and stuff, but yeah, I feel like there is a difference between rich, smart people who can control through money and planning and building up some sort of Illuminati and putting lots of thought into it. And I feel like that's the father, like leaders, but not people who seek power, but rather people who are smart and seek controlled power, maybe through lies. They're not necessarily the people that I'd want to be in a relationship with, but at the same time, I feel like God the Father is world leaders, but it's more than just world leaders. It's like a world movement. What governments are formed. There's a speech I think actually that I was listening to in the Queen's funeral thingy, where they were saying that Jesus, the speech that the president, prime minister, the blonde lady, president or prime minister, it's prime minister. She was saying how she was saying that Jesus in John or whatever said, if you see me, you see the Father also. And that is true, because I feel like God the Father lives within Jesus, which is everyone, but it's when there's like a mass collection of people. So God the Father is more like lots of different individuals that work together with careful planning and lies and truths as well, and with thought of the future, whereas God the Father is more people that seek power. Okay, that could turn out to be like Hitler and his group of people. They were all after power. They were all thinking about, how do I get power? I want power, most of it. And also self idolatry and stuff. But yeah, this power, this need for power lives inside everyone. Even if there's 100 people that break into a shop or something, that's almost like God the Father is coming out in them, because it's kind of like this need to, we're going to take over, the us group is going to take over this shop, and us group is going to beat these people up or something. So I feel like that's what the Father is, just a collective group of people seeking power. And that's why this God figure, this God the Father, is supposed to be the one with the most power. Why? Because people who kind of represent or have this are the people who seek the most amount of power, but that doesn't necessarily mean they use it in the right way. So that's how I would. I don't know how I've described it before. I think before, because I saw Martin as being the father, I separated it as being like the father being Martin and God the Father being the rest. But I know that if I am to promote my religion, I shouldn't be talking about Martin particularly. He is just one man out of loads of people, and no one man should have power. So I feel like I need to basically divide the God the Father and the Father into two different things. One has more power, yes. If someone, I don't know, Bill Gates has a lot of power because he's got a lot of money. But if he was up against 100 people wanting to break into a shop, there's nothing he could do unless he gets enforcement or law enforcement or something like this. And then that would be kind of controlled power because they're people under a salary who've been told and trained what to do and stuff like that. So I feel like, yeah, I feel like there might be a sort of battle between the Father and God the Father. God the Father just being people who seek lots of power. And I think they're also the people that would care even less about me. Like, I don't think the Father particularly has cared about me because I've been hurt a huge amount, and I'm pretty sure they've known and been watching and haven't. I don't think they've cared, but I don't think they cared at the beginning. Like there was no evidence that I saw that they were caring about what I was going through at the beginning, um, and I hate them for that. But at the same time, I am yeah, I really don't know what happened, and I would love to know, what's happened, and I'd love to know why it's been this long. And did you have a date that should have been sooner, and then you got scared when I started to show how much power I had? Like maybe at the beginning you didn't even think I had that much power, and then I don't know. I'd love to know what happened. Was it always going to be 10 years? I just don't know. Um, but yeah, I feel like. Um, God the Father is just so much more powerful. Um, but in a way, it's so powerful that they will want to kill me because they would do anything to get power. And that has been a thought that keeps coming into my head just in the last few days. Like, what happens if, um, you know, I'm going in, say there is a Big Brother show and I go into it and they want to kill me because they have other information that the only way to get power is to kill me. And I feel like there is a lot of people that would believe that lie, like the only way for, I don't know, the gates of heaven to be opened, or for God to get a new wife is if I'm killed. And I feel like, yeah, that might be a better way of separating the difference between Father and God the Father. um, the father is someone who respects the mother, and and doesn't want them dead, doesn't want me dead. Whereas God the Father is someone who's only after power and doesn't care who it sacrifices, whether it be the children or the father, or whether not the father, because he is the father. Whether it be the children or the mother, just anything to get that power. Whereas the father, is a bit more rational in its thinking. That's how I would say it.